I think it was a gift from God. I don't know. So it's somehow like this one voice note, I think had come from this Azim actually. And then from there, sort of everyone got involved. It was made by Tanishq about 10 years ago, and nobody really did that song back then and even the following years. It was a roller coaster of a journey, also, how we made it into a whole um, college experience. I was also in college at that time. Um,
Oh, so
so
you were also in college, and I mean,
yeah, and
sort of,
this whole, so that's what I'm saying, right? So something about your
yeah.
life also always comes through in the songs that you do, and I think I've always maintained that. And Vaste sort of was very, very, very close to life at that point.
How much of your real life was put into the real life of Vaste? Were there
It
any?
was actually really funny. Like, I I've never said this before, but I actually like sort of broke up with a guy and then got together with another one. I didn't know if Rahat Saab was singing on it, and it just started playing into my headphones, and I was just like, okay. I froze out a little bit, so I couldn't dub it the first day. But then, of course, like I calmed myself down, and then my dad and I shared this stupid funny thing where he says how the problem is like a cockroach. You can't be it's so small. You can't be scared of it.
Dhvani, how have you been?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing really well, and just 1 month into your track, Preet, and it's already got 4.2 million views. We're talking
Yeah.
about Preet, the track that you had recently launched from your album Lagan, and it's been
Yes.
doing tremendously well. What sort of responses have you been sort of getting on social media and of course from fans wherever you've been performing, because you've been really busy with your performances lately?
I think it's just great. I People think it's a beautiful track, and I really like the fact that they think that it's so pure and so relatable. Because that's exactly what we were looking at when we sort of made it, and it really warms my heart when they say that. So I mean, I'm very happy just with that sort of a response.
Right, Dhvani. In fact, during this interaction, we will sort of also get into the kind of stories or the kind of effort really, goes into creating all these tracks. I mean, we
Mhm.
know that, this is one track that Dhvani has created, but we never really know what all effort had gone into, building an album or coming out with a track. So let's begin with Preet. What's that one unheard story that you would like to share with your fans?
I think with Lagan in general, we just wanted to keep it as organic and as real as possible, as close to life. When you fall in love with a person, um, it's just that. And that's when your stages come into play. When you fall in love with a person, the first thing, what you see how real they are and how innocent they are, how um, you connect with them. um, so that's when Masumiyat comes into the picture, and eventually when you fall head over heels with them, that's when Preet happens, because when you listen to the song, it just takes you back to when, if you were head over heels with someone. Eventually when there's this urge of sort of settling down with a person, that's when Shagun comes into the picture. And also Shagun, because I love my culture, right? I'm Gujarati, and I've grown up going to the weddings. So when the bride enters, it's a very emotional moment, and this one song plays, which is called the Lagan Geet. So this was our attempt to a Lagan Geet. And uh, the soundscape sort of changes going into Jadoo. And when you say there's magic in us together, and Khush Nasibi, when you're absolutely grateful for everything around you, for the people in your life.
Yes, and how can we not talk about Vaste. I mean, that still remains special for you and, of
Yeah.
course, your fans.
Yeah.
How was it conceptualized and what's the story behind that?
Vasti actually just I think it was a gift from God. I don't know. So it's somehow like this one voice note I think had come from this Azim actually, and then from there sort of everyone got involved. It was made by Tanishq about 10 years ago, and nobody really did that song back then and even the following years. Eventually sort of we heard it and we really saw, wow, what is this? And just from there sort of built it to what it is today, with Vinay Radhika, with Tanishq Bakshi and Arafat, who's written the lyrics on the song. Uh, it was a roller coaster of a journey. Also, how we made it into a whole um, college experience. I was also in college at that time. Um,
Oh, so you
so
you were also in college, and I mean,
yeah, and
sort of,
I this whole so it's that's what I'm saying, right? So something about your
yeah.
life always comes through in the songs that you do, and I think I've always maintained that.
Hmm.
And Vaste sort of was very, very, very close to life at that point. Um, yeah, so I mean, but a lot of effort goes into literally every song that we put out, and some sort of really reach the audience, a wider audience, and some reach to a smaller one. But I think my heart is with every song that I've done till now, and it's going to be till I put them out.
So, how much of your real life was put into the real life of Vaste? Were there
It was
any?
actually
Yeah.
really funny. Like, I I've never said this before, but I actually like sort of broke up with a guy and then got together with another one. So
Possibly
it
okay.
was that close. And
Yeah.
somehow, I don't know, the video sort of like manifested it. And it was really funny.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, that's some one anecdote that comes to mind when you say how close it was to my real life.
Yes. And Lejare. I mean, that was a hit. I mean, that's still a hit. Yeah. I mean, I get to
Yeah.
hear that song everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh, tell us about that. Interesting, visualization. The story behind it was also very interesting. Tell us about that.
Yeah. I think I
One
was way
funny,
too young to sort of, sorry. Yeah, sorry. At
one
that
funny
time,
anecdote to that.
yeah. So no, I don't have a lot of anecdotes with that one. Actually, I think I was not sort of figured out as to what it's going to play out to be, but I was just following instructions of Vinay Radhika when that happened. They're phenomenal, right? And I think they really worked on me from day one. Um, so like my effort and their whatever they said, I did. So like to be an artist, I feel like somehow when you're that young, you always require that sort of direction, that sort of hand on you to be like, yo, this is right, this is what you should be doing. And I think they did that for me, and uh, that's how we did Le Jare at that time. So that's my anecdote for you for Le Jare.
And Ishtehar, I mean, there
Yeah,
you were with Rahat Fateh Khan.
yeah.
What was the entire experience like? This was from the film Welcome to
Welcome to
New
New
York
York.
years ago. Yeah.
Years ago, I think it was like I was about 17 years old. 18, no, not 18, sort of 18, 19, I must have been. And it was not actually very far from releasing. I think 2 years after that we released Le Jare, but at that time I was just like getting into it. I was doing covers, YouTube covers, and somehow Shamir Tandon had sort of seen this YouTube cover and he said, you know what, why don't you come down and sing this song? So, firstly, I didn't know if Rahat Saab was singing on it, and it just started playing into my headphones, and I was just like, okay. I froze out a little bit, so I couldn't dub it the first day, but then of course, like, I calmed myself down, and then my dad and I shared this stupid funny thing where he says how the problem is like a cockroach. You can't like Maybe it's so small. You can't be scared of it. So the next day I sort of went and sang the song, and I think it's a very special collaboration for me
Yeah.
as a young person to sort of have been on that record. I think is was really nice.
I mean, Rahat Fateh Khan, why I ask you? Because, the moment you listen to his voice, you get
Yeah,
goosebumps.
that's what I got
I mean, that's
scared.
the
That's what
magic.
yeah. So my fear came from there, and then I couldn't dub it that particular day.
Oh my
So
God. तो आपने
yeah.
बाद में बताया था राहत जी को कि मेरा ऐसा कुछ
नहीं,
एक्सपीरियंस
I
था?
don't think मेरी उनसे बात हो पाई because at that time I
हाँ,
think that also happened that they stopped.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. I completely understand. The direct collaboration, so to say, with
yeah, they stopped it. Yeah.
yes. And we have to talk about Guru Randhawa and of course the baby girl
Yeah.
and also Ishare because that
Yeah.
remains another popular track.
Yes. So Ishari Theory happened right after Dilbar, and it was
दिलबर की भी कहानी मुझे चाहिए because
हाँ,
दिलबर
yeah. So basically, I met Guru like right out of I was at college, and then I had gone to the gym because at that time I was trying to lose some weight, and I had gone there, and I was very sweaty when I met him. So it was a real weird thing, okay? Because you want to be like freshly clothed. So I went to Waghani's house. That's because he's worked on the track, and he's the producer on the track, and. So I went there and all of these people had come in and I had just gone for a dub. So I thought, I'll go from here because I live very far. So Andheri to
okay.
Ghatkopar was a long commute. So, and I didn't have a fresh pair of clothes. So I was there and he suddenly had popped up and then he said, we'll write your parts. And I was just like trying to sit as away as possible. I was like, bro, I am stinky today.
Oh
And
God.
it was a funny day.
Hmm.
But I think that song turned out to be really,
Yeah.
really good. I think it was a
Yes.
very special collaboration.
Yeah. And दिलबर का तो बताना पड़ेगा. दिलबर का तो है. Yeah.
दिलबर एक्चुअली इसका स्टोरी वोरी कुछ नहीं है ऐसा बट
Hmm.
लाइक वो गाना गाने में बहुत मजा आया और
Hmm.
इट्स तनिष्क आई थिंक रियली nailed the recreation and even Nora.
Hmm.
Um, so and plus I had an opportunity to sing with Neha and like you know so it's pretty cool for someone who's like
Hmm.
18.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
mean I was the fact that I was up on it I think was a great thing for me.
Yes. And another great thing that's recently happened is your collaboration with Shaadi Mubarak. I mean, it's Apple Music is now coming up with a new super room called Shaadi Mubarak. Tell
Shaadi
your
Mubarak.
fans what this is. Yes.
Shaadi Mubarak is basically this super room where you can find all your songs for your wedding, all
Hmm.
functions of your wedding.
Hmm.
And I think it's great because recently my friend got married and she was, I think it's an added pressure to sort of find songs that you want to play at your wedding, right? You're always like looking for the right tracks. And I
Hmm.
think it's like a really uh, fun thing and a really like go to place to
Hmm.
have something like that on a streaming platform where I can sort of get exactly what I want for every function.
Yes. And have you also recorded any track, in spatial audio, which is again available on Apple Music?
Yeah, I mean, we sort of try to put every song that we release on spatial audio, like
Okay.
because I think it gives a very immersive
Different.
experience
Yeah.
to the listeners, and that's exactly what you would want as a musician,
Hmm.
for the people to sort of completely be absorbed in the sound of.
Hmm.
It's like you're sitting into that song.
Hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
completely into that, no distraction at all. So, do you think this will sort of, enhance the experience that, viewers get while listening to music? This
I think
feature.
yeah, it's really something that is exciting, and it's great for the fans to sort of be getting that opportunity to sort of listen to it
Hmm.
that particular way in that sound.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I mean, and the fact that Apple Music provides it, I think is great.
And also Shadi Super Room, because here is another benefit to the listeners because, you You get all the tracks that are around wedding, mehendi, all sorts of, wedding festivities. So it's going to be a little easier for the viewers.
For the listeners, yeah, that's what I said. Like, it's going to be like, for example, I want to do my mehendi function, so I think there are going to be like a playlist that's totally dedicated to that particular function.
Yes,
So it's
yes.
easier for me to like sort of sort through and play what I want to be played in that particular function for my wedding.
Hmm.
Otherwise people are always like, at least I think that it's always hard to sort of figure out completely as to what you want, right? So if you have everything under one place, I think that's great.
And my last question, would you have any of your favorite wedding songs that you would want to see in, this particular domain, uh, uh, Shaadi Super Room? What are your favorite wedding tracks that you would want to add to Shaadi Super
I think I would add all of Lagan onto my Shaadi Room.
Room?
I have always said, like, even when I was making the album, the first
Yeah.
thing that I said was like, you know what? I want to get married at 24.
Hmm.
So this playlist is for my wedding. And then that's how I think it's a very a funny thing that sort of Apple Music has this face of mine on Shaadi
Yeah.
Mubarak,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is also fun.
Hmm.
I think I manifested it that day.
So last thing, but is there any
Yeah.
pressure on you, Dhvani?
For
Shaadi
no, no, no,
Mubarak.
no, 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 no. There's no pressure on me. I'm going to be 25. My dad
Yeah.
says, "तो
Yeah.
शादी मत कर, कोई problem नहीं."
How cool, yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's what, all women want. I mean, there should not really be any pressure and they should just be allowed, to
I feel like
let
there
dreams
should be
into
no
reality.
pressure and you should do what you want at the time you want. I think
Hmm.
whenever you're ready, wedding is a great
Yeah.
part of life.
Hmm. Wow. Good. Good to hear that from you, Dhwani. Thank you so much for your time. Really interesting to hear your thoughts on your tracks and, of course, the new feature that Apple Music has just come up with. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.